Hey guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. It's time for OJ. It's time for OJ. And I wanted you guys to do something with me. Um, Normally I try to find the clip before we get there. And every day gets a little bit harder, and I'll show you why. Here we go. Let's find out where we left off so we can press play, shall we? We did this. We did these. We did all of these. Look at us go. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. This is awesome, guys. That was just Rosa Lopez. This is Lang, Furman, Phillips? Or is that Van Adder? Phillips. I don't remember. Cato. I certainly don't remember that guy at all. And then Fung. And we finally made it. Look at us go. We're like professional court watchers now. We're masters at court watching. There's no other way. And we're masters at O.J. Simpson.
Now, thank you. That's fine. By the way, did you do any searching of the interior of the Bronco at any time on the 13th, or was that done at some later time?
That was done at a later time.
Now, shortly after you arrived at the Rockingham location, did you have any conversations with any detectives who gave you a walkthrough of the location?
I personally did not talk to any of the detectives.
Were you present when that happened?
Yes.
And without telling us what was said, what happened?
They showed us some things that they were interested in. They want us to take a look at.
I need to step away for like 5 minutes. I'll be right back. It's trash night. I have to get everything. I'll be back.
Was that just a general walkthrough?
At first, it was the Bronco, and after there were some other items they wanted us to take a look at.
Do you recall who the detective was that did that? The detectives?
I personally don't.
Okay. Now, did you physically collect some of the stains that were located at the Rockingham location that morning, the morning of the 13th?
Yes.
And did Mr. Fung participate physically in the collection of some of those stains?
Yes, he did.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to take a look at the demonstration board. It's People's 162.
Yes.
For identification. I don't know whether you can see this, Ms. Mazzola.
I have an idea what's on it.
Okay. Using this demonstration board, can you describe for us, starting with the first cell on People's 162, the steps that are involved in collecting a stain? Yeah, maybe we can see that. Can we see that cell?
All right, Ms. Mazzola, can you see it on your monitor here?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yes, that shows 2 spots, blood spots that are numbered.
All right, and is the first phase in this collection stated on the board the numbering and measuring phase?
Yes, it is.
And is there a documentation aspect to that phase as well?
The location, measurements, the photo ID numbers, and a brief description are noted on the evidence collection sheet.
Right. And are the items also photographed before
Yes,
they're
they are.
collected? So all of that occurs prior to the physical collection?
Yes.
Okay. Now directing your attention to cell number 2 that says dampen swatch. What's involved in this stage of the collection procedure?
A small cloth swatch of the approximate size you need is selected with a pair of clean tweezers. A drop of distilled water is put on the swatch. It's then shaken, so any excess water is shaken off.
And directing your attention now to cell number 3 that says collect substrate control. What is done in this phase of the collection procedure?
The cloth swatch is placed on the substrate, say concrete or whatever, as close to the stain as possible, but without getting it in the stain, is to get a background control of what the sample is on.
What does the term substrate mean?
That is just the substance that the item of interest is on.
So if the item of interest, for example, instead of being on a walkway, were on a wall, what would be the
The
substrate?
wall would be the substrate,
Or if it were on clothing, what would be the substrate?
the clothing.
What is the purpose of taking this control that's near the stain but not on the stain?
Well, this can be used for two factors. One is to provide a background, what the sample was on. So when they go to run the tests on the sample, they can see if the background itself would interfere with the tests. The control can also be checked for DNA or other items of interest to see if any contamination took place.
Now, this control is basically just a blank swatch that has water on it that's put on the concrete in this example.
Correct.
So do you handle this piece of evidence or this piece of swatch exactly the same way that you would handle a swatch that was actually put on the stain?
It's handled the same way.
Why is it that you use the identical handling procedures for the substrate control that you would use for a swatch that was actually put on the stain?
Because you want them to be as identical as possible. The only difference being one will contain the item of interest, the other won't.
Okay. Now, directing your attention to cell number 4 on people's 162 for identification. What phase of the collection procedure is shown here?
It looks like the cloth swatch is being placed into a small plastic envelope, small plastic bag. The control is placed in one bag.
Okay. And now direct your attention to cell number 5 that says clean tweeze. Excuse me?
That was Mr. Fairfield speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now direct your attention to cell number 5 that says clean tweezers on our demonstration.
Yes, after the control is taken, the tweezers are cleaned with distilled water and a Chem wipe, which is like a laboratory Kleenex.
Okay. And now directing your attention to cell number 6, which states in our board, take new swatch, then dampen it. What does this phase of the collection procedure involve?
Okay, our swatches are stored in plastic tubes, so you have to take a small selection of them out of the tube without handling them. Then you can select the correct size that you need. So that is what's being shown.
How do you decide which size to take?
It depends on the size of the stain. You want to select a size swatch that is small enough that so when you apply it to the stain, you would get it as concentrated as possible.
Now, in this particular photograph, it's kind of hard for me to see that there are actually swatches in that little
Right.
bottle, but is that what you're saying? The
Right.
swatches come from that bottle?
That's right.
Okay. Now let's take a look at cell number 7. It says collect stain and number card removed is in parentheses. What are you doing here?
That would be the actual collection of the stain.
And did you have to dampen the
Right,
swatch
it's
before
the
you?
same as with the control. Dampen the swatch, shake off the excess water, then you apply the swatch to the stain.
And finally, taking a look at cell number 8 that says package stain in same envelope with substrate control. What's involved in this procedure?
The swatch with the stain is placed in a separate plastic envelope. Both the control and the swatch with the item you're interested in are placed in the same coin envelope with the item number written on the outside.
All right. Now, when you're, thank you. Now, when you're collecting one of these stains, do you collect one stain at a time?
Yes.
And I want to ask you some questions about different things that could happen when you're collecting a stain. Do you ever drop the tweezers while you're doing that?
That can happen.
What happens if you do that?
You clean them all over again.
When you're taking a swatch that actually has blood on it, do you ever drop that bloody swatch?
That's never happened to me.
Okay. When you're pouring the, maybe pouring's not the right word, but when you're taking some of those little swatches out of the container, the little pill bottle, do those swatches ever fall?
They do occasionally, yes.
What do you do with those swatches?
I don't use them.
Could you use them as substrate controls?
You could,
But you do not do that?
but I personally don't do that.
So you just throw them away?
Right.
When you're picking up a swatch, do any of the swatches ever stick together?
That happens sometimes.
Okay, what do you do in that kind of instance?
If you're taking either the control or the actual item, you can use both swatches.
Okay, but what if you have two swatches stuck together? Do you try to separate them, or is it possible that you could apply both of them to the stain at the same time without knowing it?
You can tell if two of them are stuck together. You separate them and you use one swatch at a time, either to pick up the control or to pick up the stain itself.
And what about the labeling of the coin envelopes? Have you ever mislabeled one of those by writing the wrong item number?
No.
When are the envelopes
You are so irresponsible. I can't believe how irresponsible you are.
labeled in relationship to when the collection takes place?
The
Before?
envelopes are labeled before.
So do you put if you're collecting stain number 5, for example, in our demonstration, you're going to put that in an envelope that's labeled what?
Number 5.
And that would be done before you moved on to number 6?
Right.
Now, when you were at the Rockingham location, did you place your initials on all the coin envelopes as you were collecting them?
At the time, I thought I did. Looking back, I apparently didn't.
And do you recall testifying at what we've been referring to, or sometimes referred to as a Griffin hearing, on August 23rd, I believe, of 1994?
I remember testifying at the Griffin hearing.
Okay. And in that, when you were testifying at that hearing at that time, did you believe that you had put all of your initials or your initials on all of the items that you collected on the 13th?
At that time, I believe I had.
And did you since learn that you did not?
Right.
Sustained. Raise a question.
Okay. Did you since look at photographs of some of the items collected?
Yes,
And have you learned that you did not?
I learned I had not.
On the other scenes that you had processed,
I'm sorry, I'm objecting. As Mr. Strike, the last answer, it's conclusory as opposed to testifying.
Overruled.
If you lost your keys, Josh, I suggest right beside the front door, there's a desk. And it's possible one of your cats pushed the keys behind the desk. So before you spend 8 hours searching your home and then reaching out to a stranger across the country, freaking out because you can't find your keys anywhere, and then he's about to save you, and then you pull your desk away from the front door and look behind it, you'll see your keys are just they're just right there on the floor. You just have to pull your desk away. On a completely separate note, I'm about to drive my daughter to work in a few with keys that I absolutely know where they are now.
now on the other other scenes that you had collected stains on prior to the 13th, had you initialed on those occasions?
Yes.
And why wasn't that done here at the scene?
I was told that there were only 2 of us that would be.
Objection is what was told.
Sustained.
Okay, without telling us what was said, was there a conversation about this?
Yes.
And after the conversation, was there some conclusion that was arrived at?
Yes.
And what was the conclusion?
Objection.
What's the basis?
I hear say again.
Overruled.
There were only going to be 2 of us at the scenes collecting evidence. We were working as a team, so it really didn't matter if our initials were on the envelope since we were working as a team.
Now, as to the crime scene identification checklist that we talked a little bit about, when you testified at the Griffin hearing, what was your understanding of how that checklist was supposed to be used?
At the time, I thought that everything had to be filled out. The other scenes that I had gone on, they had filled out the checklist.
Maybe we can see a portion. I think it's 1107. Let's just take a look at the last page of the exhibit. It's 1107 for identification.
All right, Mr. Farrell, what page number is that? They're numbered at the top.
Page 202.
I don't think it has a number. It's the one that has 17, 18, and 19,
All right.
or 18, 17, and 19. Is this the form that you use out in the field when you're collecting evidence?
Yes.
It's a little blurry there. Okay, now, prior to testifying at the Griffin hearing, did you believe that every single box in every single column needed to be filled out?
Yes.
And as a result of your training and experience after the Griffin hearing, did you learn something different?
I learned that this is a general guideline for us. Some of the boxes really don't apply to us at the scene.
When did you learn that?
So right after I testified at the Griffin hearing.
And got back to the laboratory?
Right.
Okay. With respect to the time column, have you noticed now, based upon the experience that you have to date, that different criminalists in the Los Angeles Police Department have different practices with respect to how they fill out that column?
Yes.
And how is that used?
Some fill out every single individual time that something is collected. Others put a starting time that they start collecting evidence and an ending time when they stop. Everything that is collected while you're at the scene. So it happens between those two times.
And then are there some people that use what I guess you might call an intermediate type usage of that time column and put in some times as you did on the 13th?
Right.
Sustain.
Are there some people?
Stricken would phrase the question.
Are there some people that use an intermediate technique?
Yes.
All right. Now, getting back to the collection of the evidence at Rockingham, perhaps we can take a look at People's 120 for identification. It's the board of Rockingham, the outside stands. Now, with respect to People's 120 for identification, do you recognize what's depicted here? I don't.
It's
Can you
not
see this?
showing them.
Well, it's not going to be on the monitor.
Oh.
Maybe you can just step down for a moment and take a look at this. And are these photographs that depict various items that you participated in collecting on the 13th at Rockingham?
Overruled.
Can we have a stop right?
Overruled.
Now, when you were doing the physical collection on these, do you recall what order they were done in? Were they done in numerical order?
For the most part, yes.
And would that mean that you started with the stains that are down towards the gate?
The first stain that was collected was on the door of the Bronco.
Do you know who physically collected that?
I know that physically.
Now, did you then begin with?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I couldn't
This-
read.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me.
I was the one who collected the one on the Bronco.
Now, with respect to the stains that are leading from the Bronco into the driveway area, did you and Dennis Fung physically collect those?
Objection as to her and as Tom.
Overruled.
Yes.
Now, can you tell us when you first started the collection, can you be more specific as to who was doing what in terms of the physical collection?
As I said, I was the one that collected the stain off the Bronco, and Mr. Fung collected the stain on the street. When we got to the driveway, he did, I believe it was like the first two stains, and I took over from there and was the one physically collecting the rest.
With respect to the other stains, do you have a recollection of whether he physically participated in collecting any of those?
He was present for some.
So at the beginning of the stains, he was doing more of the physical collection, and then towards the end, less.
Right.
And with respect to the first phase of the collection procedure, the documentation, the numbering, and the measuring phase, how did the two of you work together to accomplish that?
We worked as a team.
Now, With respect to the stains at the end of the outdoor area, stain number 7 and stain number 8, do you recall where Dennis Fung was around the time that those were collected?
At first, he was not present, but as I kept working, he came up.
Do you recall whether anyone else was present at the time those stains were collected in the
Yes.
immediate area?
There was someone in the immediate area.
Who was that?
Mr. Steve Johnson.
Who's he?
He is the assistant lab director.
Do you know where Dennis Fung was at the time that he was not present,
No, I
or
don't.
where he went? But he went somewhere and then at some point came back.
Correct.
Now, with respect to the stains at the Rockingham location, was every single last stain collected, or were there some that were not collected?
There were some that were not collected.
And what is your training with respect to the need to collect every stain as opposed to less than all the stains?
Well, on a trail, you want to get a representative sample. You want to get the first few stains. You want to pick up the last few stains. The ones in between, as long as they appear to be going in the general direction, there was nothing out of the ordinary with them. Not every single stain has to be collected.
And is that the technique that you and Mr. Fung use with respect to collecting these stains? All right. You can, I want to ask you some questions that you may have to refer to your crime scene identification checklist for, so you can resume the stand.
All right, Mr. Goldberg, you can refer back to this exhibit, People's 120 again.
I was going to talk about stains, so I thought it might be useful for it to be here, unless logistically we just can't do that.
Oh, if you're going to be referring to it, proceed.
Okay, with respect to the stains numbered 4 through 6 on our diagram, with the photo ID numbers 4 through 6, down towards the beginning portion of the driveway. Can you tell us the time frame that those stains were collected?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, the record should reflect that the witness is refreshing a recollection, so notes may I approach the witness?
You may.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Mazzola, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to the crime scene notes.
All right, thank you. Proceed.
They were collected around 9 o'clock, all within a few minutes of each other.
And with respect to the stains that are up towards the, close to the entrance area, stain number 7, stain number 8, what was the time frame of those stains?
Those were approximately 10 to 15 minutes later.
Did you have some time frames in your crime scene identification checklist that you can give us?
Item 7 was collected approximately 9:10. Item 8, approximately 15 minutes later.
Okay. Now, when you were at the location, from what you saw of all of the stains, did any of them appear to have been stepped in?
No.
Now, before, I can take this down now, Your Honor.
All right.
We were having a non-blood pressure rising day with OJ, sitting, watching, listening to the criminalist, and there Shrek is walking, and then boom, our blood pressure goes right up because he's walking. Is he breathing over there? Jerk.
Farrell, why don't you swing that around?
Before you left the Rockingham location, did you and Mr. Fung go through any process in terms of double checking the evidence that you had?
Yes.
What was that?
We knew what item numbers we collected. We looked at each individual item to make sure that we had everything.
Okay. And is that a routine thing that you have done on the other crime scenes that you were on before this?
At the other crime scenes, we make sure that we have everything that we collected.
I know, jerk.
What did you do with the various coin envelopes that you had with the biological evidence of them in them?
They were put in a small paper bag,
Do you recall whether they were lying down or standing up?
and they were standing up.
And what was done with the paper bag?
The paper bag was put into the back of the crime scene truck
Was the crime scene truck locked?
all the time.
Approximately what time was it that you left the Rockingham location?
Do you have keys for the crime scene truck before you lock it? Making sure you have your keys or you'll have to call Josh and then beg for help.
That was approximately 10 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Were you wearing gloves during the collection procedure of the biological evidence at Rockingham?
Yes,
And do you know whether you were wearing the same pair of gloves the whole time?
I probably changed gloves. I don't remember how many times, but
Objection, Your Honor, it's suspected that you said I probably would strike the answer.
Sustain, rephrase the question.
Do you have a practice?
Excuse me, just curious to disregard the last question and answer.
Do you have a practice at a crime scene to wear the same pair of gloves throughout the entire crime scene?
no.
What is your practice?
I change the gloves when they start getting uncomfortable. If I am done processing an area and I am moving on to a completely separate area, I will change gloves.
By the way, just going back for a second to the blood collection procedure, do you ever touch the blood with your gloved hands
No,
when you're collecting it?
no,
What about the swatches?
no.
Is that something that has happened to you by accident, where you have touched a bloody swatch with your gloved hand?
No.
Now, what do you do with the gloves that you're wearing at the time that you leave the Rockingham location? Do you keep them on?
No, we take a paper bag, which we label trash, and any trash that we generate, whether it's used gloves, swabs, Kim wipes, anything, goes into this bag and we take it with us.
Now, after you left the Rockingham location, where did you go?
We went to Bundy.
Approximately what time did you arrive at the Bundy location?
10:15, somewhere around there.
Now, when you arrived at the Bundy location, from your own independent recollection, what was going on at that location when you arrived?
There were a lot of people there. The coroners were there. It appeared that there were detectives at the scene.
From your independent recollection, do you recall whether you saw the body of either Nicole Brown or Ronald Goldman?
I remember seeing a brief glimpse of Mr. Goldman.
Where do you recall him being?
He was up on the walkway.
Were you paying close attention to what was going on during this period of time?
I was trying to look at everything. There was a lot going on at that time.
Okay. Do you recall an incident where Mr. Fung took a bag over to Mr. Lang, Detective Lang?
I remember Mr. Fung taking a bag up to the area.
Did you know what was going on at that time?
No,
Did you see what he did with it?
no, I don't.
Did you ever, from your own independent recollection, recall seeing Nicole Brown at the location with any blanket over her?
I don't recall seeing Cole Brown.
Do you remember anything about a blanket?
I remember seeing a white blanket there.
And where do you remember seeing it the first time that you can recall seeing it?
It was up on the walkway near the steps.
And did you see how it got there?
No.
Now, I'd like to direct your attention to People's 165 for identification, the board showing the Bundy biological evidence. Maybe you can step forward for a moment just to take a look at this. Does this diagram appear to depict the Bundy location?
Yes, it does.
And do the photographs appear to depict various items of biological evidence that you and Mr. Fung collected on the 13th?
Yes.
Now, with respect to this diagram, I don't think it's on here, but do you recall the first item of evidence biological evidence rather, that you collected, the first stain?
I believe it was on a tree stump. I don't see it on the board.
Okay, it's the photographs isn't there.
Right.
And for what purpose was that collected?
That was collected as a reference sample from Mr. Goldman.
With respect to the biological evidence in the caged off area, can you describe for us in the physical collection procedure how you and Mr. Fung worked together in collecting that evidence?
He was supervising, he was watching me after we had marked the numbers, had been photographed, measured, sketched. He watched as I collected the biological.
Okay. And do you recall whether he did any of the physical?
I don't think so. I think it's Cochran that questions her. I think we'll see. When we looked ahead, it sort of looked like Cochran was the one that was questioning her, which is just as bad, maybe.
Collection with respect to those items in the caged off area?
I believe there were a couple of items that he personally collected.
From your independent recollection today, do you know which ones those are?
No, I don't.
All right. And did you then begin, which did you do first, the caged off area or what we refer to as the trail in terms of collecting biological evidence?
The caged off area.
Right. And at some later point, you began working on the trail?
That's correct.
Do you recall who did most of the physical swatching on the items on the trail?
I did the swatching.
Okay, now,
Majority.
do you recall any stains now from your independent recollection that Mr. Fung physically participated in swatching on the trail?
Item 112, he picked up a little more blood off of that item than I had picked up. And there was one other item farther down the trail that he picked up. I can't remember which
Okay,
one.
now when you said item number 112, were you looking at the photograph that
that's
has item number 47?
right. That's correct.
Okay, and does the call out line depict the general area where that was located?
Yes.
Now, can you specifically tell us in terms of item or photo number where this other item was, or is it just a general recollection?
It was just a general recollection.
Can you tell us anything that stands out in your mind about that other stain or the circumstances surrounding collecting that stain?
I remember that Mr. Fung knelt down and became a little upset because there were several purple berries in the area, and she had knelt down on one and had stained his pants. So he was a little upset about that.
Is that how you remember that item?
That's how I remember that he had picked up one farther down the trail.
Okay.
Excuse me, Counsel, Ms. Mazzola, if you would, you've, over the last several questions and answers, you've talked over each other. Ms. Mazzola, let Mr. Goldberg finish asking the question. Mr. Goldberg, let her finish answering the question before we start with the next one.
Sorry, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, when you were collecting these items along the trail area, direct your attention to stain number 50. That's item number 115. And then stain number 51. It's down here in the lower right-hand corner. That's item number 116. Do you recall specifically why they were numbered in that order?
I do not recall why they were numbered.
Do you, when you were at a scene, when you were at this scene, did you make it a practice to number them in some sort of sequence based on the geography of the location, or?
Yes.
Now, with respect to stain number 52, that's item number 117. Do you recall collecting that stain?
Yes, I do.
Is there anything about that stain or the substrate control on that stain that stands out in your memory?
It stands out in my memory because I went to take the control, a red color, the pigment came up on the swatch, and that's the first time that's happened to me. So, and it's about the same color as the driveway, so that's why it stands out.
Other than that, do you recall anything particularly coming up on the control swatches on the other items in the trail?
Other than maybe a little dirt thing spectacular.
But nothing that stood out in your mind? Do you recall one way or the other? I mean, was it something you took a note of?
No.
So the only one that stood out in your mind in terms of coming up with something on the control was number 52?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. You can resume your seat.
All right, Mr. Goldberg, I'd like to take our recess at this point.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our first recess for the morning. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Don't discuss the matter with anybody else. Do not conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you. We'll stand in recess until 10:30. Ms. Mazzola, you may step down. You're ordered to return at 10:30. All right, thank you. witness stand undergoing direct examination by Mr. Goldberg. Good morning again, Ms. Mazzola.
Good morning.
Ms. Mazzola, you're reminded that you were still under oath. Mr. Goldberg, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were talking about the substrate controls, I believe, before we left. Is it necessary, do you always have to collect a substrate control in every situation when you collect a stain using the LAPD procedures?
If it is possible to collect one, we collect one.
Okay, well, when would it not be possible? Can you give us an example?
If, say, the blood covers the entire area, it's, a small piece of stone or wood or whatever, then there would be no surface area to collect a control off of.
You mean if there was no uncontaminated area?
Correct.
I wanted to ask you a couple questions more about the Griffin hearing before we continue with the Bundy collection. This hearing in August of 1994. When did you first become aware that you were going to testify in that hearing?
It was that morning.
And how was it that you became aware of it?
I was already at work in the toxicology section, and I got a phone call from Michelle Kessler, the lab director.
Had you ever testified before that as an expert witness in court?
In toxicology cases, yes.
Can you give us an approximation of how many times?
5 to 7.
Okay. And when she told you that you were going to be needed in court, how much time went by between then and when you actually showed up in court?
Probably not more than 10 minutes or so.
Did she tell you what case it was going to be on?
Yeah, she said the case. So,
So you figured it was this?
all right.
All right. And you didn't have any advance warning before she called that you were going to
No.
be testifying? When you got to court, what happened?
I was led up, well, I should say led down to the 9th floor, and Mr. Matheson was coming out.
Hold on for a second. Who's Mr. Matheson?
He was the serology supervisor at the time,
Okay, so he was coming out of where?
out of the courtroom,
And what happened?
and he asked me if I had my notes, a binder, and I said, what notes? So he gave me his binder of notes, and I was brought in.
Did you have any opportunity to review Mr. Matheson's notes before you went into the courtroom?
No,
Did you know how his binder was organized?
no,
When you were brought in, were you brought in for the purposes of testifying?
yes,
And were you called by the defense or prosecution?
I was called by the defense.
Did you have an opportunity to discuss with the defense beforehand what questions they were going to be asking?
No,
Or discuss any aspect of the case with the prosecution in advance?
no,
So you were a criminalist, one, and you're testifying on the Simpson case. You didn't have a chance to speak with the questioner in advance to review your notes. How did you feel?
Sustained. First question.
How did you feel at that moment in time? Were you nervous?
nervous and thoroughly alone.
Okay. And had you had occasion even to think about the case mentally and trying to go through and remember what had happened prior to getting up on the witness stand?
No,
Oh, well, proceed.
Were you regularly thinking about the case prior to that?
no, I wasn't.
Now, at the Griffin hearing, were you asked some questions regarding who collected what at the Bundy location?
Yes,
I'd like to ask you some questions on page 735 of the transcript. Lines 12 through lines 26.
Excuse me, yes, Mr. Corporal.
Do I need to bring the transcript?
I like avocado toast. I like avocado, but I don't love it like everybody else does. Omelet. Yes, love omelet.
All right, thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Actually, I'll start on 734, line 27 through 735, line 26. Are you ready, counsel? Do you have that? 27. Bundy again. Were there certain blood stains that you collected and other blood stains that were collected by Mr. Fung? Answer, yes. Question, and which blood stains were collected by Mr. Fung? Answer, I believe he collected the red stains that were near the shoe prints that were made on the walkway. Question, would you please look at your notes and tell me which numbers those are? Question, and when you say that, you say he collected the actual foot shoe prints, or he collected alleged drops that were near the shoe prints? Answer, he, if I remember correctly, took swatches of the red stains that were constituting the footprint itself. Question, can you tell us which ones those were, please? Answer, property items 55 and 56. Question, and that is it? Answer, yes. Question, all other blood stains at the Bundy crime scene were collected by you, ma'am? Answer, yes. Do you recall that testimony?
Somewhat.
Okay. And since testifying at this hearing, was there an occasion when you and Dennis Fung went over the crime scene identification checklist again to try to make notations as to who physically collected which items?
Review, excuse me, overrule.
Yes.
All right. And have you since had an occasion to think about yourself, what happened at the scene and who did what?
Yes.
And did you in fact do, other than on stain 55 and 56, the shoe prints, most of the physical swatching on the other stains?
Most of the physical swatching, yes.
All right. And since then, have you come up with the two recollections that you've testified to on stain 47 and the item with the berry?
Yes.
Now, at the time that you testified at this Griffin hearing, did you believe that all of the photographs taken of the bloodstains had rulers in them, or scales in them?
I believe that they had, yes.
What made you think that?
So I had seen the photographer lay down a scale on one of the drops. So I assumed that he was going to do it for all of them.
Did you since look at the crime? Have you since had an opportunity to review the crime scene photographs?
Yes,
Had you had an opportunity to review the crime scene photographs before testifying at the Griffin hearing?
no,
And in reviewing the crime scene photographs, did you see a scale on every single one of the photographs?
no, I did not.
All right. I'd like to direct your attention to an exhibit that we previously marked as Defense 1081. That's page 2. This is the crime scene identification checklist, Your Honor. All right. Bundy. Ms. Mazzola, do you recognize this to be part of the crime scene identification checklist for Bundy?
Yes,
And whose handwriting is on that list?
mine.
Now, do you see the notation that says, has the scene been altered? If so, by whom and how?
Yes,
Did you write that question mark in there or did someone else do it?
I did.
And why did you do that?
Because at the time, I did not know if the scene had been altered. There's an assumption that it had because the coroners were there.
All right. Now, is it your understanding as a criminalist that you have a responsibility or that the criminalist has a responsibility to make inquiries of anyone in terms of whether the scene was altered?
The criminalist really does not do any investigative work.
Okay, but does the criminalist talk to the investigating officer?
Yes,
So would the criminalist perhaps ask about questions about what happened prior to their arrival on the scene?
yes.
But when you say investigative work, what are you talking about when you use that term?
Actually talk to the individual people to find out if they personally had moved anything, where they had been.
You mean in terms of a more formal witness
Right.
interview? Do the criminalists do that at Los Angeles Police Department?
No,
Thank you. Now, I'd like to talk about some of the items that were collected in and around the caged off area at the Bundy location. And first, the glove. I think it's People's 164. Excuse me, it's 77A for identification. You know, Honor, maybe I could just put a piece of butcher paper down on the little table over there so we can take this out. This is all I'd like you to, after putting the gloves on, remove People's 77 and describe what you're doing for the record.
okay. Do you have a knife or
Do you have a preference?
no? I am opening the sealed envelope. I am removing paper bag. And I'm opening the bag and removing the glove.
Now, do you recognize any of the writing on that paper bag?
Yes,
Whose writing is that?
it looks like most of it is my writing.
And is that the paper bag into which the glove was placed at the Bundy location?
Yes,
Now, have you had an opportunity to look at some videotapes showing yourself collecting a glove and also a cap at the Bundy location?
yes,
Prior to seeing those videotapes, did you have an independent recollection of who collected those items?
I knew that I collected most of the items in that area.
Did you recall specifically who collected the glove prior to viewing the videotape?
Specifically, no.
All right. Did the viewing of the videotape refresh your recollection?
Yes,
Now, prior to this crime scene,
What a nice glove. I'll be right back, guys. Taking my daughter to work. Be back really soon.
let me back up for a second. When did you actually start taking the criminalistics courses at school, the criminalistics portions of your formal education?
oh, let's see. 1987, 1988, somewhere in there.
So had you been involved in the forensic science community then for approximately 6 years or so prior to collecting this glove?
Sustain, rephrase the question.
How long had you been involved in the forensic science community prior to collecting this glove?
I had contact with them since beginning my forensic courses at school.
And that was how many years?
Six, seven, somewhere in there.
I would object to move to strike. It's fully irrelevant whether you should contact.
And can you show us now the technique that is used to collect a piece of evidence such as this glove by placing it back in the bag? I know it's sort of wrinkled, but maybe you can just
Okay,
do it for us.
after the photo ID number is written on the bag, corresponding to the number given the glove, the bag is opened and you want to pick up the glove, get a secure grip, and but touching as small an area as possible. And just put it in and fold the bag closed securely. And that's it.
That's all there is to it.
That's all there is to it.
And did you feel qualified to do that after being involved in the forensic science community for about 6 years?
Yes.
Overruled.
Now I'd like to show you the people's next exhibit. I think it's, let's see, 78. It's the cat.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to place that back in the envelope?
Oh.
Thank you.
Can you now retrieve people 78 for identification and show us what you're doing?
Okay. Just removing the paper bag from the envelope. Opening the bag and retrieving the hat.
And what is that item?
That is a knit watch cap.
And who recovered that from the location?
I did.
Do you recognize the writing that's on the packaging?
Yes,
Whose is that?
and that's my writing.
Okay. You can replace that. Describe what you're doing for the record.
Thank you.
Article 78's been replaced, Mr. Goldberg.
Ms. Mazzillo, does there appear to be any trace evidence or anything that was left on that butcher paper?
I don't see anything.
Or perhaps we can just dispose of it then.
There's a trash can right here,
Thank you.
Mr. Goldberg.
Okay, I'd now like to show you a videotape that we've previously marked as Defense 1083 for identification. And then I'll ask you some questions about it. Oh, Can we have the lights dimmed a little bit? I think we can get better resolution that way. Now, thank you. Ms. Mazzola, did Defense 1083 depict you at the crime scene collecting some evidence?
Yes, it does.
What were you collecting in that
I was
tape?
collecting the hat and glove at Bundy.
Okay, and did you change gloves in between collecting the hat and the glove?
No.
Why not?
The hat and the glove at Bundy were touching each other. They were not in two completely separate areas. They were in physical contact with each other.
And when you were at a crime scene and collecting evidence, is it your habit to, if you see something on your gloves or see some blood or trace on your gloves, to change them?
Yes.
So the glove and the hat were in close proximity?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to show you another exhibit that's been marked as People's 192 for identification, and then I'd like to ask you some questions about that. Okay, if we can stop for just a second. I would like to direct your attention to the dark area that is in approximately the middle of the screen. And for the record, this is just shortly after Mr. Fung put down an item and then disappeared up the steps. He's no longer depicted in this frame.
Yes.
Okay, let's continue. Okay, we can stop for just a second. We've stopped on a card that I think says 103, and it appears to depict part of the glove on the left side of the screen and part of the knit cap on the right side of the screen. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is this what you were referring to when you were saying that they were in close proximity?
Yes.
And why is that significant?
Well, any trace that I think would be moved from one to the other if we hadn't changed gloves and they were not in such close proximity, that would be more of a concern than if they're side by side like that.
And is this where they were at the time that you first saw them
Yes.
and when you collected them?
Yes.
Okay, let's continue. Let's stop for a second. Now we have a photograph that has 3 evidence cards in it. Did you place those evidence cards down or did someone else do it?
Someone else.
Who was that?
Mr. Fung.
And does this photograph depict the envelope and the glove and the watch cap, the cap, after the 3 evidence cards were placed down?
Yes.
Right, let's continue. Okay, now if we can stop for just a second. Again, you see that dark area that I directed your attention to on the first frame that we stopped on.
Yes.
And now for the record, we're on a frame at the end of this collage that has a crime scene tape across the upper portion of the screen, Your Honor.
Yes, appears to be the step area. Appears to be Mr. Fung wearing booties on the second and third steps.
Thank you. Now, with respect to the area, the dark area that I directed your attention to, do you know what that was?
No.
Was it the glove?
No.
Did you ever see the glove in any location while you were at the scene other than as depicted in the still photography? that we
No.
saw? Now I'd like to direct your attention to an item that we've marked as People's 32 for identification. And also 191 for identification. May I approach the witness?
You may.
I'm showing you People's 32 for identification. Do you recognize what is in this envelope, or this plastic baggie rather?
Yes.
What is that?
That appears to be the envelope that was found at Bundy.
Do you recognize any of the writing on the packaging?
Yes.
Whose is that?
Some of it is mine.
Who wrote item number 39 on there? Is that your writing?
That appears to be my writing.
And what about 104?
That's mine.
Is 104 the photo?
Yes.
And directing your attention to People's 191 for identification, is this the same type of bag that was used in the Scientific Investigations Division?
Yes.
All right. Now, Did you package at the scene the eyeglass envelope, the bloody envelope, into the packaging material, the paper bag that has the photo ID and item number ID on it?
Yes.
How did you do that?
I picked up the envelope wearing gloves in a small, relatively clean area and placed it in the bag, folded down the top.
And is the bag that it's placed in appear to be the same type as the one that I've just given you, the fresh one?
Just, yeah, brown paper bag.
All right. Now, perhaps we can see the clip of tape that's previously been marked as Defense 1082. I want you to look, maybe we can back it up again, very closely at the item that's being passed between yourself and Mr. Fung. Maybe we can just see that again. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right, we're stopping at frame 13, 34, 24.
It's a little blurry. Okay, that's fine. Is that the entire tape? Okay. Did you get a chance to take another look at that?
Yes, I caught a glimpse of it.
What?
I caught a glimpse of it.
Okay, have you seen this before?
Yes.
This footage? And is that item the bloody eyeglass envelope?
No.
Would you hand a bloody eyeglass, a bloody piece of evidence to Mr. Fung
Safe and speculation.
Oh,
No.
if he wasn't wearing gloves?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
He wasn't wearing gloves. Plus, I was the one that was packaging the evidence.
Okay. Do you know in what way Mr. Fung and you were working together at this time in terms of the evidence collection in this area? I'm referring to Defense 1082.
I was the one that was in the caged-in area picking up the larger items of evidence. Mr. Fung was handing me the bags, taking the bags from me as I was handing them out.
Do you know why was it that the two of you didn't work in the cage simultaneously?
At that point, there were other pieces of evidence inside that had to be picked up, and there was not enough room for both of us to be in there without running the risk of hurting some of the evidence.
Okay, so only one of you was in there?
Correct.
That was you.
That was me.
And why is it that you would not hand an ungloved criminalist a bloody piece of evidence?
I wouldn't hand anybody anything bloody if they were not wearing gloves.
But is it for health reasons or for
Personal protection, right?
what kinds of problems are you now concerned about as a criminalist in terms of dealing with biological evidence at a crime scene?
Today we have the various types of hepatitis, we have HIV, we have AIDS, we have all kinds of things that are showing up in biologicals.
Are criminalists in general pretty sensitive about the health issues that are involved in collecting biological evidence?
Very, very mindful of it.
Now, do you recall at the Bundy location seeing any stains on a rear gate on the 13th?
I honestly don't even remember a rear gate.
Okay. Do you remember having a walkthrough with a detective at the beginning of your collection procedure?
I remember starting on a walkthrough, yes.
Do you know whether you went all the way back as well? Do you know where the rear gate is now?
Now I do, yes.
How?
From photographs, video.
Okay. When you went through the walkthrough, did you go back as far as the rear gate?
No.
Did Mr. Fung continue on with the walkthrough?
Yes, he
Without you?
did.
Okay. And at the Bundy location, did any of the blood drops on the area that we referred to as the trail appear to have been stepped in?
No.
Approximately what time did you leave the Bundy location?
No, it was approximately 3:15 or so, 3 o'clock, 3:15.
All right. And where did you go after you left?
We went back to Rockingham.
Did you take the crime scene truck?
Yes.
And what would have you done with the gloves that you had been wearing at the Bundy location when you left?
They were taken off and put in the trash bag.
Before you left, did you do the same evidence inventory procedure that you've described?
Yes.
And do you have do you have an independent recollection of exactly where that took place?
Not an exact recollection. I have an idea where it took place, but I can't be absolutely positive.
Was it outdoors?
It was outdoors, yes.
Can you tell us in terms of being towards the front of the Bundy location? And by that, I mean the Bundy side, or to the rear towards the alley side?
It was up front.
All right. What time did you return to the Rockingham location?
Probably around 3:30 or so.
Do you have any notes with you that you can use to give us the time that you collected the first item of evidence once you returned to Rockingham in the afternoon?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us? Do you have it memorized, or do you need
I
to
don't
refer-
have it
Right.
memorized now.
Please tell us what you're referring to in order to give us that
Okay, I'm
information.
referring to the evidence collection sheet.
Check, I would say that there must be a proper foundation laid first before she can refresh her recollection so that she has independent recollection.
Well,
Okay. It says 1540,
so that's 3:40.
3:40.
Was the notation as to the time in your handwriting or Mr. Fung's?
My handwriting.
And when you made that notation, how did you do it? Did you ask someone or look at your watch or what?
I think I just glanced at my watch.
All right. And this first item was stain number 11,
Correct.
which was on which side of the house?
It was on the side of the house near the garage on that end of the house.
That little narrow walkway area?
Right.
And that's outdoors?
That's outdoors.
All right. Now, I'd like to direct your attention back to some testimony at the Griffin hearing on page 758. Well, actually, 757, line 25 through 758, line 4. Line 25 and 758 to line 4.
Do you have that, Mr. McPhail? All right, thank you.
Thank
Proceed.
At the Griffin hearing, did you give the following answers to the following questions? Question, and what time did you get back to Rockingham, was it? Answer, right around 4 o'clock, somewhere in there. Question, how do you know it was about 4 o'clock? Answer, because of the time that is noted that we collected the sample in the foyer. Do you remember giving that testimony?
Yes.
Okay, so was this testimony that you got back there at 4 o'clock correct?
No,
And why did you testify that way?
because I was just had a chance to glance at the notes as I was testifying.
All right, now I'd like to read you another passage that occurred just previously to that on page 757. Counsel, it's lines 12 through 15. Seven 57, 12 through 15.
Proceed.
Just previously to that, did you give the following answer to this question? Question, so as soon as you got back to Rockingham, the first thing that you did was walk inside and lift item number 12. Answer, after it was photographed. Do you recall that?
Yes.
So was item number 12 in fact the first item that you collected?
No,
So why did you think that item number 12 was the first thing that you collected and that it was at 4 o'clock?
because as I said, I was just going off of the notes. I didn't have time to go through them and refresh my memory, and I looked at the wrong line.
Did you didn't you see number 11 at that time when you were testifying at the Griffin hearing and looking over the crime scene identification
I
checklist?
honestly don't remember.
Okay. But based upon the crime scene identification checklist, was item number 11 in fact the first stain that you collected in the afternoon?
Yes,
And who did the physical collection on that?
I did.
Now, did you in fact collect a stain number 12 in the foyer area of Rockingham?
Yes.
Perhaps we can see People's 169, which is the interior Rockingham map. Do you see this? Okay, direct your attention to the photographs on this exhibit that are labeled with photograph numbers, photograph number 12, and the call out line. Do those depict where this item was collected?
Yes, it does.
And this was the first interior item.
Correct.
And who did the physical collection in terms of the swatching of this item?
I did.
Was Mr. Fung watching you on this item?
Yes, it was.
Now, after collecting this item from the foyer area, where did you go in the location?
We started making our way upstairs, looking as we were going for any items of evidence.
So you collected downstairs first before going upstairs?
Correct.
And when you got upstairs, did you go to the master bedroom area of the house?
We did go there.
Did you see the item that's contained in photographs 13?
Yes, I did.
And where were they?
They were at the foot of the master bedroom bed.
Right. And did you also see the item that's depicted in the photographs that are labeled 14?
Yes, I did.
And what are you doing in this photograph?
That-
Photograph that shows you holding a Q-tip.
That is a simple presumptive test for blood.
Is that the phenolphthalein test? Now, if you look closely at that photograph in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that there's some clothing on the ground. Can you see that? It's right behind the shower door. No, the one that has you doing the presumptive test. The one that has photograph number 14.
Yes.
Do you recall how that clothing got there?
One of the detectives was looking through the clothing.
Was that while you and criminalist Fung were in this master bathroom, master bedroom area?
Yes, it was.
And prior to this detective looking at this item, where was the clothing?
Clothing was in a closed hamper. Let's see.
Okay. That's fine. You can resume your witness. So when the detective took the items out of the hamper, did he ever put them back in the hamper that you saw, or did he just leave them on the floor?
I don't recall if you put them back or not.
But he did take them out and put them on the floor.
Yes.
Okay, take this out. Do you know how the towels got on the floor?
No, I don't.
Now, after collecting item number 12, what was the next item number that you collected, or that was collected in your presence?
May I check my
Yes.
notes? After item 12, item 13 was picked up.
And after item number 13, what was picked up?
Item 14,
And who physically collected item number 13?
Mr. Fung.
What time was item number 14 collected?
Approximately 1640.
And the record should reflect that Ms. Mazzola is referring to her notes.
Okay, yes. And were you referring to the crime scene identification
Yes, I
checklist?
was.
Now, is there a time for 13 on that list, or is it just 12 and 14?
Just 12 and 14.
Your Honor, I'd just like to clarify something before I ask my next question.
Yes, at the sidebar with Corporal, please. easily the most educational sidebar so far. All right, thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Okay, thank you. All right, and was there an item number 15 and an item number 16 that were collected? Just answer that, yes or no.
Yes.
Right. And what time were those items collected?
I thought at approximately 5 o'clock.
All right. And that was according to your crime scene identification
Correct.
checklist? May I just have one moment, Your Honor?
Certainly.
And can you tell us the location of where, using your crime scene identification checklist, these two items were located? Just the location,
Correct.
first of 15, then of 16.
15 was collected in a downstairs bathroom trash can. 16 was collected from a bench outside the front door.
Okay. Now, I'd like to show you another tape that we've marked as People's 186, and then I'm going to ask you some questions about it. If you take a look at it.
Is this from Rockingham?
Yeah, it's the beta tape from Rockingham. We could just stop for 1 second. And we're at frame 1711. So if we assume that this is correct, this would be 511.
Correct.
And in this scene, what are you and criminalist Fung doing?
We are putting items of evidence in the back of the crime scene truck.
And would these be the items of evidence that you had collected in the afternoon at Rockingham?
That's correct.
Now, are you placing anything in addition to the evidence itself in the truck at this time?
Our kits.
And what are your kits?
They are 2 cases that contain things we need to pick up evidence, package it at the scene.
Do those contain all of your packaging materials?
Yes, they do.
And in addition to the bags, the brown paper bags that we've seen, what other kinds of packaging materials do you have?
Plastics, bags, coin envelopes of varying sizes.
Okay. So at this point in time, those items are being placed in the rear of the crime scene truck.
That's correct.
And would have this been after you did the inventory for the afternoon items?
Yes.
Do you know where physically that inventory took place?
I don't know for sure. No.
Okay, let's continue.
All right, just for the record, that's 1711 actually in 50 seconds because there's a lot in between.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I can just stop for another second. So this is 1711-5702 that we're looking at. Did you just lock the crime scene truck?
Yes.
So at this time, Where is all of the evidence that was collected from the morning at Rockingham?
In the back of the truck.
And all of the evidence that was collected at Bundy?
In the back of the truck.
And what about the evidence that was collected in the afternoon?
In the back of the truck.
Okay, let's continue. If we could stop for just a second, I have another question. And the crime scene identification checklist that we've been referring to, where is that at this time as you and Mr. Fung are walking away from the?
That also is in the
truck.
back of the truck.
Let's continue. Stop for a second. We've just stopped at 17:17:10:24. Ms. Mazzola, have you had an opportunity to look at this tape before?
Yes,
Today?
I have.
Right. And have you had an opportunity to take a close look at the item that Detective Van Adder is holding in his hands?
Yes.
What does that appear to be?
It appears to be the gray envelope that, at least in toxicology, that our samples arrived at the lab in, be it urine or blood,
Now, you say in toxicology you see these envelopes.
every day.
I'd just like to show you what we've marked previously as People's 163H. For identification, I may approach.
Yes.
Can you show us the, hold up the envelope of the type that you work with every day in serology? Excuse me, in the toxicology.
It's this one.
She's referring to the darker of the gray envelopes.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's continue. Let's just stop for a moment. Now, when you're working with these envelopes in toxicology every day, are these the kinds of envelopes that are used to contain the suspect's blood
Yes,
or urine?
that's correct.
All right. Let's continue. Okay, let's stop for a second. We've just stopped at 17:20:57:02. Now, before we stopped, did you see two shots or two segments showing some activity in the foyer area of
Yes.
the Rockingham location? Do you know where you were when that was occurring?
I was in the living room sitting down.
Okay. And what was it that appeared to be in Mr. Fung's hands in this videotape?
It appeared to be,
Objection, Your Honor, to what her opinion of what appears in the videotape, and she's not even present, and her opinion is no better than the jury's.
it appears to be an envelope similar to the gray envelope.
And at this time, did either you or Mr. Fung have any of the packaging materials that you, from your crime scene truck or from the kits?
No,
Objection, Your Honor, she wasn't present, she can't say what was.
no.
And was there,
Let me see counsel without the reporter, sidebar, please.
He's going to get in trouble for that that he didn't say anything, but when the judge just overruled him, he made that face. He's about to get in trouble for that. Looks like I was wrong. It looks like Cochran's not going to be the one questioning her. It looks like this curly-haired guy is. I don't know his name.
Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Was there any other item of evidence that you collected or saw being collected after 5/11
No,
that was consistent with those shots?
no.
Okay. Can we continue now?
Can't remember what it's called. But there was this kit that you could get. I can't remember what it was called. They would send you like once a month evidence and notes and things like that on a crime, cold case file or something. And you could just try to solve this case from all the evidence that they sent you. Do you guys, did anybody did that? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? And have you ever did it?
Let's just stop for a second. Have you had the opportunity to see this portion of the tape where you and Mr. Fung are leaving the location prior to today?
Yes.
For the record, we've stopped on 1742, 54, 13. Now, did you have opportunity when you looked at this tape to look at the amount of heft or size of whatever is in the plastic bag?
After viewing the tapes, yes.
And was there anything that you collected or was collected in your presence after 5/11 that was consistent with that other than the analyzed evidence envelope?
No.
Foundation.
First of all, it's a leading question.
Sustain. Phrase the question, jury should disregard the answer.
Did you collect anything or was anything collected in your presence after 5/11 that was consistent with the size of what was in that envelope? Excuse me, bag.
No.
And when you were carrying the bag out, I'll strike that. Okay, let's continue. Now, you said that after the Griffin hearing, you had a conversation with Mr. Fung where you went over
Objection.
who collect,
Objections to what he went over in the conversation.
where you went,
Sorry to
Thank you.
testify.
where you went over what had been collected and who did it.
Right.
Do you remember any conversation about item number 17, the vial of blood?
I'm gonna watch a few videos today of some of the. I found some of the boxes and see what they do and see if it's okay or not. And if it is, then we could do that. We could do it like once a week. We could do a live and do one of those boxes, or once a month, or whatever.
I honestly can't remember if we had a conversation or not.
Did that in your mind appear to be a significant incident, the circumstances surrounding the collection of or the receipt of that item?
No.
Why didn't it seem to be significant?
The laboratory receives samples of suspects' blood or urine all the time. It was nothing unusual.
Did you make it a point when you were getting ready to leave the Rockingham location after 5 o'clock to make a mental note of everything that was happening?
It wouldn't be like this case, but yeah, they send you a box. Hold on, let me get one. Let me go to one website. This is just one website. This is not this isn't the one we're going to do, or it might be the one. I don't know. So I guess we could just buy one box. Oh, this isn't real. I don't know if this is real or not. No, this isn't real. This one is fake crimes. That's not. I mean, it would be fun, but a killing affair involves a continuing murdering mystery. No. No. These are all stories. This isn't. What was the one, Josh? What did you say? Let me look at that one real quick. Cryptic killers. Well, I mean, those would be fun. They're just not real stories. They're fake stories you have to try to figure out. Yeah, I think that's the same with cryptic killers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can't get to their site. Okay, if I can't find the real one, I will look into a fake one. I mean, it's just one box. We could just try to do it and try one. I'm gonna watch some of the videos though. They have videos where people are doing them on YouTube. I'm gonna watch some of those videos and see if that's something we can do together, all of us.
Happening and the sequence in which it was happening,
Not really, no.
or make a mental note of the time that things were happening after 5 o'clock?
Not really, no.
Did you have any idea that those circumstances were going to be raised as issues later on in a case?
No.
All right. And I made a huge mistake with today's live stream, guys. I had it on normal speed. So we just wasted 25% of this whole. We could have gotten 25% further if I would have remembered. But now I have to get to work. I got to get 3 videos out today. I got to get shorts out today. And I got to get my courts, which have just opened. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye, guys.